You're not married.
Oh no, not yet.
I'm not married. Now, what's the delay?
For you or for me?
Now, most times when I talk to most of my friends that are still on the same level of unmarried,
Yeah.
sometimes it looks like we are just not serious.
Okay, so for me, I would say one thing that has pulled me back from getting married is structures. I've been opportune to live around people married and I've seen so many things that caused breakdown in their marriages. And I have also taken time to say, if this guy had put this in place, probably this issue would not have come up. So I'm not bothered about the choice of partners. That's a different kettle of fish now.
What makes a woman a wife? Although we are not married now, but then what makes a woman a wife?
So I don't want the ladies to come for my head for this one. So I think where most young ladies miss it is between the lady and the wife. As your wife, your biggest or your strongest point is your mindset. For a lady, you are still all about your body, your looks. You can walk into a room and everybody will like, yeah. So some ladies don't grow from that. So you could see a pretty lady and you approach her and you talk to her and you don't get value from what she says. So automatically for me it's basically put off.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to a new space. A space where we have honest conversations, real life experiences, and faith-filled perspectives. Here we talk about life as it truly is. The struggles, the victories, the experiences gained. Nothing is too big to discuss. On this space we'll be having amazing personalities sharing their real life experiences with us, deep wisdoms to navigate our lives, our purposes, our relationship, and many other things in between. I am your host. My name is Funmi, and this is Lifetalk with Funmi. Welcome everyone. Welcome to my space where we have meaningful conversations, talk from the heart that is not mixed with anything. Welcome to Real Talk with Funmi. Today's episode is going to be different because I have a young man with us today and we are just going to be looking at what youths are going through. What is the challenges of the youths in this present time. And I have engineer Almond there. Welcome, sir. Thank you for taking out time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you.
Let's just get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
Introduce yourself.
Okay. I'll start by thanking you for having me on the show. My name is Almond. I'm from Delta State. I'm a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
I currently work in power generation. So we build power plants for people and for industrial users. Basically, that's what I do now. Yeah.
And I'm sure it has been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a challenging space. Well, it's been quite good. Yeah.
Okay. Now, looking at what do you think is the major problems that youth the major challenge that youth face today?
Well, it's quite subjective, but I will just look at it from a professional point of view.
Okay.
We have a lot of young people who are always accused of not knowing enough to be industry ready. Say they're not ready for the industry, but nobody tells them what to do to be industry ready. A lot of young people are not empowered enough to do some of the things they want to do. We have young people who have ideas, who sadly those ideas just remain in their head or in their books where they write them down. They don't have the support they need to take it to the next level. I think that's one of the biggest challenges we have.
Now, is this challenges, is it a global youth situation or just the country we find ourselves in?
Sadly, Nigeria seems to be the major problem. We understand the effect of environment to some of these things. And Nigeria basically is a big challenge to some of these things. Yeah.
Many times you as a youth, you have idea, you want to, go into a business. The idea is there, but you are unable to execute, or you have, or you don't even have anybody to run to. I remember growing up, I wanted to get into the medical line, but I had this phobia for blood. But all through, growing up, when they say, "Oh, career day, what do you want to be?" The only thing we mention is doctor, lawyer,
engineer.
They didn't actually tell us that as a doctor, there are other sectors
in medical line,
medical that does not have to do with blood. If I had known, probably I would have done. But I had to just die there because I didn't know anything.
You ran away. But you said the blood of Jesus. You're not blood of Jesus.
We don't see the blood of Jesus.
Okay, actually, talking about that, I've had to handle a group of young people where you just see them talking about so many things, but they don't talk about the main problem. It's not their fault. They don't really know. Just like you said. We have people who want to do something, but they don't have an idea of what it entails to do that. Growing up, I also wanted to be a medical doctor too, because they were highly celebrated then. But at the same time, I could take up my father's radio, I break it, and I couple it back, and say, engineer. I say, okay, let me go for the one that they're hailing me for. So, yes, I agree with you. There is this knowledge transfer gap. There are young people, you can find people around 12, 15, 16 who don't really know what is obtainable out there. So they can't start preparing their minds. So if you look at what the global space provides today, you could check up schools in some of Asian countries. As young as 6, you already know that you want to be a plumber. As young as 8, you already know I want to be a software developer. That's why you see them doing things. You find young people able to do things, and we older ones are like, he must have had very good background. So I feel if the older ones, people with more experience, can help bridge that gap, and proper guidance is given. In Nigeria, you hear them say, leave the child, let him decide on what he wants to do, but the Nigerian environment doesn't really permit you to do that.
The education system.
It doesn't really permit you to do that 100%. Yes, you can have a child. We have situations where I had some friends in the uni back then where they tell you, my father wants me to read law, but I want to read music. So you find them just dancing around, going to classes like they are being forced or something. So I'm not talking about those really extreme cases, but their children, you can actually identify them early, identify their inclination early, and start guiding them. We don't just leave it for chance. We don't just leave it for chance and say, okay, maybe when they grow up, they should be this or that. We can also guide them and also provide the necessary information they need to move up.
Okay. There are so many young ones now who they seem just to be lost. They want to just be in the flow of the trend, look good and all of that. And most of them come from humble background. I remember talking to a young lady last year, and I said, how far with school? You are done with secondary school, but you are not in school yet. And she said, there's no money, there's not this, there's not that. And then I said, okay, let's leave money apart. You know what you want to do? She said, yes, she wants to study nursing. Fantastic. Let's take the steps. The first step is JAM. Right? So, and thankfully the church, I happen to be one of the people who organize JAM lessons in the church. And then we started this JAM lesson. She'll come on some days, she'll not come on some days. And at the end of the day, she didn't pass the JAM. Right? And ever since then, she just, in fact, all through those periods, I would run after her. Why are you not coming? What are you doing? Even if I pass, I don't have money. Why are you focused on that money? Meanwhile, this girl dresses nice. She uses wigs. She uses Android. How are you able to afford these things and you are not ready to? And I wonder, is there any way? In fact, this year's Jam said they recorded the highest, failure. Okay. And I wonder, is there anything? I mean, we growing up, we've had our own mistakes. We are still trying to find our path and all of that. Yeah. But these younger ones, is there anything? Looking at it from your own perspective, is there anything that you think we can do to help them channel?
Okay, so well, thank you for the question. So I think first things first. So let me look at it from a mechanical engineer's perspective.
Yeah.
You can't jump into a design without having your foundations right.
Yeah.
We face a big challenge right now with young people who want instant gratification. Sadly, what you have online makes it look like it's possible. It has exposed the world to say, oh, you can just do this, and in 1 month you're making $3,000, and in the next month, and a lot of young people are like, oh, why would I go to school for 4 years when I can just do this and get my way through it? So, but you still find out that some of those people don't have the basic foundation which they need. And I don't know so much about, I used to tell my friends, I don't know much about business. I don't know, I cannot advise you to go about life being a businessman or a business lady or whatever. But one thing I know for sure, I've run through the 4 walls of a university. I've actually paid my dues in that area. And I know how I can actually guide somebody through that process. It's not easy. It takes a lot of dedication and discipline. So, but the moment you go through it and you move according to your time and everything, it's always beneficial at the end. You can even decide to go into business and you approach your business plan a lot better than someone who doesn't have the basic education. So the thing still remains that people need to understand that nothing good comes so easy. You need to climb the ropes. You need to climb the steps. And that is what builds you up to maintain a certain level when you get there. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Now let's talk about relationship.
Okay.
Let's talk about relationship. You're not married.
Oh no, not yet.
I'm not married. Now, what's the delay?
For you or for me?
Now, most times when I talk to most of my friends that are still on the same level of unmarried, sometimes it looks like we are just not serious. Sometimes. And then we have almost same complaint. Oh, I've not gotten this right. What do you think is it? On your own side now, what is the major challenge for you? And then youth of these days, what have they taken? What's the mistake they make in relationship?
Okay, so for me, I would say one thing that has pulled me back from getting married is structures. I've always learned that I've been opportune to live around people married and I've seen so many things that caused breakdown in their marriages. And I have also taken time to say, if this guy had put this in place, probably this issue would not have come up. So I'm not bothered about the choice of partners. That's a different kettle of fish now. Okay, so I'm just talking about, let's assume you marry the right partner for yourself. Why are you still having problems? So I learned early that you need to put so many things in place. You need to put your finances in place. You need to also put your own behavioral trends in place. You need to get your house together to put it in place. Because it doesn't make sense where you are scattered and you now bring in somebody to come and join you in your mess. So the idea is still, for me, yes, I thank God I've been able to achieve some of my targets. So if I'm going into marriage today, it shouldn't be a problem for me now because I have had to put up some structures that guide me now. And I think that's another issue with some young people. Some people are also scared of the institution called marriage. It's quite demanding. It's a lot of commitment. So a lot more, like I said, a lot more exposure, a lot more information can be passed around. And I don't want to blame Nigeria, but yes, I mean, most people look at their pockets before they want to go into something. You don't want to take somebody's daughter into your house and you can't feed her.
But you know that, especially when when you're in places with family members or church members who mean well, or just the older ones, they say, "Oh, why you not married?" And then you say, "Oh, I just need to get my finances right." And then they say, "Oh, remember what the Bible says: he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." And I keep saying, and I wonder, for those that are actually, I've seen people who are married, young ones, they are married, and then they are still struggling. If this person has decided not to marry or not listen to, would they be struggling in that marriage? And then you find out that even though they are married, they come to church or they do most things together, they are still unhappy.
True.
And then many times you see all these relationships that scatter online. You say sometimes it's not even money. You see the ones with money, they get married, and 2 weeks down the line is off. So what is that thing that people are supposed to look out for when you say if you find a wife, finds a good thing? What makes a woman a wife? Although we are not married now, but then what makes a woman a wife?
Okay. So I don't want the ladies to come for my head for this one. So, but I was listening to one of my mentors online, and he was saying something about 4 stages of womanhood. He talked about the girl, he talked about the lady, he talked about the wife, and he talked about the woman. So I think where most young ladies miss it is between the lady and the wife. So he said, as your wife, your biggest or your strongest point is your mindset. For a lady, you are still all about your body, your looks. You can walk into a room and everybody will like,
hell's done.
So some ladies don't grow from that. So you could see a pretty lady and you approach her and you talk to her, and you don't get value from what she says. So automatically, for me, it's basically a put off, basically. So some ladies are still there. They're still, I'm this, I'm that, I look good, and they don't want to grow from it. But when you find a woman, when you find a wife who has grown from that phase and she's now into what value can I bring? Her level of thinking has been upgraded from just how I look as to what can I engage to the table. Well, if I don't want to bring to the table, before they'll tell me they're at the table now. So once I think her mind, the stronger her mind and her willpower, the more she inclines towards being a wife.
Okay, so let's quickly talk about friendship. What's that hard truth about friendship? And what's that truth about friendship? What do you hold on to in friendship? And have you ever had a point whereby you had grown your friend?
So friendship, let me give you an example. I saw a picture some days ago where someone stacked up a pile of 200 naira notes and put $100, a single note.
Just beside it. And
the person said, one good friend is better than a bunch of friends that are not, that has little value. So for me, I used to be the life of the room. I used to be the everybody's guy person before. But I think I grew out of it, and I learned that you don't really need all that to have the kind of support you need from people. So I remember when I was doing my master's program, my friends from Saudi Arabia, they had a name they used to call me Diban. Diban means wolf. And I asked them, why do you guys call me Diban? They say, I move alone. I don't move with people. I like to go on my own, and I'm a very smart person. So I'm that kind of person now. I can walk and do my things alone with maybe 1 or 2 persons. I still tell people that my elder brother is still my closest friend. I talk to him about everything. It's good to have friends. But the thing is, I think another big problem we have is we categorize everybody as friends. So you can be my friend, someone else can be an acquaintance. So we should learn to understand, and someone else in my office can be my colleague.
Your colleague.
So we should learn to understand the meaning of these words and place people where they should be and give them the kind of access that these positions require. A friend can know me to my house, my personal life, but an acquaintance shouldn't know that. A colleague at work shouldn't know all that, unless he has now been promoted to a friend. So I think we now need to start creating those boundaries along these lines and identify those that should fit into those pockets. And once we can do that, I think we'll solve that issue with friendship. But for me, I don't think knowing the whole world is important, or getting the whole world to know about you is important. Yeah.
Anonymity can work sometimes.
Yes.
Now look, let's see. We're at a time where there are so many trends online.
Yep.
There's so many enjoyments. We stay in a place where every day you see people club. The biggest business or the most business you'll see in this area is lounges. These lounges.
Yeah.
And then you want to have your walk with God, but then you still also want to enjoy yourself. Is it possible? Can it work?
Okay, so for someone like me who I don't have a clear stand on, I'm here, I'm not here. Today you can find me in one of these lounges that you're talking about, and tomorrow you find me in the church doing my thing. So I think mindset matters in this kind of situation. I could go to a lounge to sit to watch a football match.
Yeah.
I could engage in some of the activities there.
Yeah.
I could take one or two green bottles so that I can see front. So, but that doesn't mean it's my lifestyle. So there, it could just be a one-off thing. So, but I grew up in a Christian family with a Christian background, so the church is still my strongest point. Someone was telling me that he asked my dad one day, where will I be by this time on a Saturday evening? And my dad told him I would be in choir practice. And he called me, I was in choir practice. So it just still shows that that upbringing is still there. My dad to know that I would be in choir practice on a Saturday evening, and yes, he called me. That was what. So yeah, so it's still so for me, it's still there. You can, basically depends on what you want to do. So there's something about intentionality for me. I could go and sit out with some people that I want to meet with and get contacts. So lately in my job, I've been having to do a lot of business development. And some of the people you need to discuss these business deals with, they are sitting down in those lounges. They won't talk to you outside. So you need to go in there to go and meet them and to engage them. So intentionally, you could break into some of those spaces to meet people, have a conversation with them. But on the other hand, yes, you could also have your Christian life not affected. Yeah, so if I'm not saying it's a do or die thing or it's this or this. There should be a compromise point where you can actually, exactly, you know where to draw the line. So I think foundations, your basic foundation still matters in issues like this, yeah.
Okay, so let's go a bit personal now.
Okay.
Now, looking at 3-4 years ago, up to now, there was a big trend on Japa.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people going through the route of studying masters, and then they go and you don't see them back. I mean, I have a few friends who jackpot.
Yeah.
They've not been back in Nigeria since they left. It's been 2-3 years.
Yeah.
They went back to Nigeria since they left. Now, you went to have your masters, and you are back in Nigeria, working in the Nigeria system.
Yeah.
What influenced your decision?
To go or to come?
To come back.
Okay, so the Jackpot syndrome became really big when the UK came up with a policy during COVID of 2-year post-study permit. So, I traveled in 2016 to do my master's program. I had a master's program by 2017, a master's in mechanical engineering. So at that time, there was no 2-year post-study permit.
Okay.
So, at that time, I tried to see if I could get a job in the UK. But at the same time, I also thought that going to do a master's abroad would place me in prime position to get some of those big jobs here in Nigeria. And so far, I had my own fair share to work in the UK. I worked in, I don't know if you know them, GE. They had a military hardware workshop and aircraft spares warehouse where they make aircraft parts. So I worked with them. So I had my own fair share of work. Man, the work abroad not easy. So nobody pays you to just sit around doing nothing. So in Nigeria, just take for instance the civil service where somebody comes to work by 10. Say, I go drop my children for school. Traffic just hold me. I just enter. Then they come home, make I go pick my children. He say, you go close from there. Who want to come back here? You don't have all that freedom living abroad. I worked in a warehouse, in a supermarket where you had a Fitbit on your wrist. So the moment the supervisor sees that you are not moving, he's calling you, hey, why are you not moving? What are you doing? Because they need you to work. So the work environment is not really very friendly. And I think most people, the only thing that gives that advantage of working outside the country is the money. Our currency is really struggling right now. So you could get to do a shift and you get, like, let's say, for instance, you work in the UK and you get £10 for an hour. So which means if you work for 10 hours, you could get like £100. £100 today is over 200,000. Who pays you 200,000 for working a day in Nigeria? No. It's difficult to earn that kind of money here in Nigeria. So yeah, for people talk about taxes and other things, that is small. It's small. Worst case, let's say, okay, 80, you get 80,000 at the end of the day. £80, sorry. £80 is 160k. How many people earns 160k a day to work here in Nigeria? So yeah, what really fueled my reason to come back was, in as much as there was no post-study work permit at that time, like I said, I thought I would be in prime position to get some of the big jobs. I tried to apply for some jobs in the UK on permanent grounds. I couldn't get because they were not open to employing people without you having your own sponsorship. It's quite expensive to provide sponsorship. But the moment the government provided that 2-year sponsorship, it became easy for people. That was why a lot of people moved out about that time. Coming back, it was for me I didn't want to stay back and be an illegal immigrant. Okay. I still feel I have a lot of work to do around the world. I don't want anything to dent my travel history. So the moment I got my job while I was still in the UK. So there was a company I worked with here. I worked for free. I actually worked for free for about 3 months. So I traveled to do my graduation, and they called me and said, oh, we have an opening. Are you interested? I was like, okay, since these guys are not employing me, let me come back and take the job. So yeah, so that was what fueled my coming back to Nigeria to continue my life here. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now we've had plenty of discussion, even though we are trying to cut.
Yeah.
So what's going to be your final advice now to the young ones who are still struggling with career decisions, school decisions? A lot of them tell you, oh, school has come. You know, what would be your advice to them?
Okay, so there is something we call knowledge overload that is really stressing the world right now. See, it's crazy how you can get as much information in your hand in 5 minutes compared to what it used to be. These AI tools are crazy, man. They're just crazy. They can do anything for you. So, but the problem we are having now is there's so much information out there. Sometimes, even while I'm working, we have, in my office, we have a team, in our project department team. We could want a professional advice on something, and we are not even going out to look for a consultant. We just type it there on chat or any of these AI tools, and it gives you in detail what you want. And from there, we can now plan and we'll build up. So there's so much resource out there available. The mistake young people will make is if they don't have a plan. I can tell you, sometimes I get lost. You could take your phone and say you want to search for something, and you just open your Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and you just go off. You're now chasing something else that is not what you went there for. So there is this information overload that is just available, and if you are not careful, you'll get lost in it. You'll just be all over, and you will not have a laser focus on what you want to do. So the thing is, for young people, I think there is the biggest opportunity you have now. Technology, like they say, was supposed to be on a straight line curve, linear, but it's not what it is. It's embossed. You just see from here, you're up there, you're coming down, you're back up there. So it's crazy. It's so difficult to follow the trend. But if you are focused, you will follow the trend. And you get to understand that some of these tools are not tools to be criticized, but they are tools to help you move to the next level. I remember some years ago when Facebook was all over the place. Back then, I think maybe 2012, 2013. Then I was still in the uni in Delta State. I actually went to Delta State University, Abraka. So I was still there, and we had this crazy thing where our fellowship president was like, oh no, we're not going to put our fellowship on Facebook. That it belongs to the devil. Or like, Presido, where is that coming from? So, but we found out that during COVID, virtually everybody went back to Facebook to transmit their services and do online things. So the thing is, these tools are there to give you that boost that you need. So it's just for young people to just be patient. It's a difficult time now where nobody thinks that going through the steps that we took to climb. Yeah, I'm still climbing that step. It's so hard to know that people don't want to follow that step. They feel there's a shortcut somewhere. I was talking to one of my friends, and he told me, I hope you are aware that it's not only formal education that is education. There's also informal education. I say, yes, I agree. But the thing is, in your informal education journey, bring some formality. It will help you. You need to keep track of your money. You need to keep track of the environment. You need to keep track of trends. This thing I'm selling, will it be the next big thing in the market? In Nigeria, at some point, tomato was more expensive than apple. We never saw it coming, but some people planned for it, and they made money from it. There was a guy I was talking to, he just one day got up and was buying a lot of palm oil and storing them somewhere, and the next thing, the currency took a dip, and the guy was in so much money. So the thing is, you still need to walk through that path, understand the trend, and grow and make progress. So I just feel, for me, for young people and myself too, it's still a learning process for me. Let's still try to utilize the tools available to us, and let us plan to grow. Step by step, we'll actually get there. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Engineer Almond.
Thank you.
You've heard it from him. Now, we are at a time where a lot of young ones, the youths, are on a fast pace. They just want to get it very fast. But then you heard it, that you need to slow down and make use of all the tools that are available to us, the AI tools, the social media, but use it positively. And remember, there are so many distractions out there. But keep your faith on God, and then God will help you. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. We'll see you again next week. Bye.
Thank you.